Shade45, Street Sweeper Radio, DJ Kayslay, Drama King in the building. We got a special guest just walked in the building. We got Joseph Sikora in the building.
Yeah, Joseph Sikora,
one of the greatest actors in the game right now.
My man.
I mean, that role, Tommy in Power is crazy.
Yeah, man, it's been a blessing to do it, and now that we're going into the 5th season, it drops July 1st at 9 p.m. on Stars, or get your Stars app and watch it Saturday night at midnight. But it's been a blessing to be able to do it for 5 years and have the character, to the writing that kind of really supports how crazy and diverse this character and complex he's become.
5 years. It doesn't seem like 5 years.
No, because one of the reasons is because it takes place, how the show takes place is totally linearly. So it takes place only in the amount of time that you're watching the show for a very small period of time. So the entire time that's actually gone by in the show is only like 8 months so far. And it always seems to be winter. Yeah,
true, true. I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all be killing me. And I know y'all probably be killing a lot of the other fans too with these long waits, man. Can we speed this shit up a little bit, man?
No, man.
Who I gotta speak to?
Talk to 50. He's the one that's got juice.
Yo, Fifth, come on, man. You understand? You be killing us. Like, we be having to wait till the summer for this shit. You understand? But you know what? It's always worth it.
It's a good payoff. I mean, the writing, Courtney A. Kemp, the show's creator and lead writer, and obviously Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, you really are the kind of the, for all intents and purposes, the co-creators of this show. So, as you know, 50's always kind of got a plan, and there's always method to his madness. We take a long time to do the final product of the show, which is one of the reasons it looks so cinematic and such like a movie every time, is because there's a lot of post-production on it. So we finish the season. We shoot from about September to March, and then from March until the show airs is all post-production stuff. So we're doing ADR, which is digital recording afterwards to sub some of the lines, or if something got missed, or if there was a siren over a car. So all of those things, and then the color correction. So all these things go into it, but the final product is really superb and superior, but all that stuff goes into it to get to where it is able to show. Man,
you just said a mouthful just now, but I understand what it takes to make things come out great, and it's a great show, and it's great to have you up here. But we got you here for a hot second. 888-SHADE45, Street Sweeper Radio. We're going to play some music. We'll be right back. Shade45. Street Sweeper Radio, DJ Kayslay, Drama King in the building. We have Joseph Sikora in the building. Okay? Now, I might have asked you this the last time you was here, but I'm going to ask you again. How long have you been a part of the hip-hop culture? And when I say hip-hop culture, I mean not just the music side. You also have a graffiti talent.
Yeah, man. I mean, I pale in comparison to your prowess, but I will say that alliteration aside, graffiti was my life, and it just really becomes, as you know, so much a part of your lifestyle. As we were talking when we were off the air, that when you're in graffiti, it's like a lot of people talk about graffiti, or they're like influenced, or I used to do graffiti too. It's like, you don't really get it. Like, you know, and I quote this from KRS-One all the time, as like, you know, rap is something you do, hip-hop is something you live.
Exactly.
But when you're in the scene, and when you're in that element of hip-hop, of graffiti, and it really is all life-consuming. You don't really have friends who aren't doing graffiti. It just takes up so much of your time, so much of your mind. So since I was about 11 years old, started writing, and kind of got to the name that I used for a long, long time, from 13 years old until now. So that's 1988 until now. So
what's the name?
It's a long
What's the
time.
name?
You know what, man? I usually don't say the name, but I'll give the.
If they're gonna get you on any old juvenile shit or anything, then leave it alone.
Yeah, man.
Some people created a lot of damage in their time.
But I will say that, and I have no problem saying that I'm still really close with all the members of my graffiti crew, J4F, which started in 1990 in Chicago. Lone and Curve and Cobweb and Cabby and some of these guys who wrecked shop and were all city kings. And now that we got a whole new generation of young bucks coming up, where now it's so funny because graffiti went through a phase of where when you were starting graffiti, I would assume late 70s, early 80s,
late 70s.
Was like, you know, people still didn't totally understand it, so there was a bit of a freedom in that. So by the time that I was really coming up and the graffiti was going on, from the late 80s into the early 90s into the mid 90s, people knew what was going on and they hated it, and it was incredibly criminal. And Chicago passed the first graffiti felony laws. So it was a really different time, and now it's kind of gone full circle where it's like graffiti is kind of hip and cool, and so there is a weird double standard thing in some capacity from like what graffiti was then and now. But I love hip hop, and I always consider myself part of the hip hop movement of America.
That's real talk right there. 888 Shade45 Street Sweeper Radio. We need to let you do a piece on power, man.
Oh, I know, man, and not just some tags about the Serbians and Albanians, man. Let me do a full burner.
A full meltdown, man. Pull me in on it. Yo, Bip, what up?
The Drama King is in the building.
888 Shade45 Street Sweeper Radio. DJ Kayslay, Drama King in the building. It's always an honor to have you stop by. Joseph Sikora, great actor. Like I said last time you was here, that role you played in Banshee, you understand?
Yeah, you love that one.
I loved it because it was like you was a real, not real, I mean, in that part, you was a real piece of shit.
Yeah,
like, you was a piece of work. Your whole team.
Well, the thing was, too, the reason that guy in Banshee, whose name was Matt Sharp, was a real piece of shit because he understood what he was doing. A lot of ignorant people who are, specifically racist people, don't totally, there's an ignorance, and that's why we call them ignorant people. They don't get that because they haven't had experiences with whoever, people of color, Jewish people, whatever their prejudice is. But this man did have that and read Mein Kampf, had knowledge of everything he was saying, and those are the real scary people in this country. So I think that it was good that was portrayed in a way, and a piece of garbage. Yeah,
especially the way he was talking to him in the South. You think I'm scared of you? I'm not scared of you. Your people, this and that. Like he was talking. I said, yo, this motherfucker's in that character too deep. They might have to pull him out and shit, give him some water after that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If they never saw me play Tommy, people might think that that's who the guy. Because people are often like, oh, you must be Tommy because of how deep you get into it. But in reality, Tommy is a far more closer character to my personality, where a bit of my history, whatever. And this guy wasn't. And yet, I'm proud to say, even a piece of shit, I'm proud that I played it to its truth and to its realism.
When people hate you,
oh yeah,
like the way they hating Rotimi for playing fucking Dre right now. Right now, he's number one.
He's number one. Yeah,
he's number one. But when somebody hates you in that manner, where they be like, yo, that's some fucked up shit you doing when they see you in the street. And you like, yo, easy. Like, that's just the character. Just like I see in an interview from the guy who played Chatham in Banshee. And he was saying, hate Chatham. Like, don't hate me. Like, you understand what I'm saying? But he played that shit to the max. Like, you understand? Like, even your character in Power, it's 50-50. Sometimes it's like, all right, Tommy, that's my dude. But then when you start getting on the emotional Holly shit, you're like, come on, my dude. Cut that fucking Holly shit. Like, you hear Holly name, you ready to kill everybody.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that 50-50 balance of that, I think is another reason why people respond so heavily to the character, because there is such a balance. So we're able to fantasize and see the fantasy Tommy, or maybe the Tommy that we wish we were, or that we wish was our boy or whatever. And then the other part of Tommy, his faults. And I think that reflects our own faults. So I think that Tommy, out of all the characters, maybe this is not giving myself credit, because obviously it's the writers and it's everything that composes that, is probably the most relatable character to a lot of people.
Well, you definitely got two sides in that. That wicked side, I think that's what the streets love.
No, the streets love it. I want to give it to them. You got to give the people what they want.
Exactly. 888 Shade45 Street Sweeper Radio. Want to thank you for coming through, sitting down with us, networking with us, politicking. Congratulations on this 5th season. You understand what I'm saying? I can't wait to see how. I mean, it's very obvious that well, I ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Well, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Your pop's crew is gonna get down. That's all I know. That's for me seeing your pop's crew about to get down, and I'm seeing you, Ghost, and motherfucking 50 together. I can't not wait to see this season. I'm hype, y'all.
It's gonna go down.
Again, thank you for coming through, Shade45. We out.
Anytime.